Okay, so we're talking about that fruit hybrid, and you guys know that fruit hybrid was the orange slash apple of your naming, and I'm just going to give it a random name, just kind of for this purpose, and I don't want to take your ideas from you. But here I am in Illustrator, and what I did was I went ahead and opened up an image file that I found. You can easily go on to Google, type in box templates, and start to look up something that might be intriguing to you. The one that I picked happens to be a Chinese takeout looking box, so I think that it's a really, it just is what it is. It's just a really basic shape that I think would be fun for my particular piece. Okay, so I've started on this, but this is just my background image. This is nothing that I'm going to keep, so it's really important that then we learn how to build. For some of the boxes, it's going to be as simple as a rectangle tool, and then going ahead and dragging something in. For others, such as this, I might need to actually go in with that pen tool and create each of these shapes. And actually, once I create it once, I can simply duplicate it and copy it over to the other side. So that shape is finished. I could do a variety of things. Number one, I could fill it. I can go ahead and fill it with whatever color I might need. Let's just put in, a random color. Okay. I could also go in and get to my gradients. I could get some kind of a gradient inside of this particular piece. And again, editing that over in my gradient tools, I can go ahead and say, you know what? I need to put a different color in there. We've talked about gradients. You should know all that by now. You should know that you can move and manipulate that by sliding different things in different locations, etc. So at this stage, I would go back and I would continue on my way. I'm going to go ahead and outline this piece. Coming across here, get that guy, that one, that one, that one. Now, of course, you can see that I have a fill. Don't forget to end it. See that little circle that pops up? I have a fill on that one. I'm going to go ahead and actually remove that fill. And then coming closer, go ahead and select one of my anchor points. So I'm going to go ahead with my direct selection tool, grab that anchor point, click on it, then click and hold, move it so that's actually where it needs to be to make it a good finished piece. So again, that's a good background for this particular piece. Now, what I could do is I can create a simple, let me just do a simple letter size document. And I can start building other things. You don't have to build everything on that finished document. You can copy things over, place things into there as you're working later on. So at this one, I could say, you know what? I want to use some kind of an ellipse tool to give some kind of that apple orange shape. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it with, I'm going to go ahead and fill it with that orange color, or maybe because it's a green, I'm going to start filling it with that green color. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to start to build out my stem. I'm going to build out a leaf. I'm going to finish this one up and then go from there. I'm going to save this one, file, save as. The biggest thing I need to remind you is please triple check that you have it as a .ai, an Adobe Illustrator file. If it is a compressed file, you're going to end up with huge problems in editing. So please double check that. Lots of you would say, oh yeah, I'm out of here. The bell's about to ring. You don't check that, and that could be a big problem. So this one, I could make a folder in here. New folder. This is my, I'm just going to call it hybrid, again, because I don't want to take any of your project names away. Open that folder, and I'm going to call that my apple. Okay, so that's my apple illustration. That one's all set to go. This one, let's go back here. File, save as. I want to get that in the same file folder. So I'm going to find my hybrid folder. You can see this is defaulting to .ai. That's beautiful. But you want to watch out, especially for this guy. These guys, these compressed ones, nothing over here. Do not do any of those. Only that one. Usually the first time if you save it like that, you don't have to worry about it after that. But the very first time you save, please triple, quadruple, and quintuple check. Please, please, please. You're going to go ahead and call it maybe my outer box and hit save. Any other files I want you guys to go ahead and do your research for very carefully. I talked about an SKU or a scan code. I'm sorry, I should have said a barcode. That would be wrong. A barcode was the only thing I was going to allow you to pick from Google without having to redo because it's a very basic part. But what I want you to do is I want you to make sure you're picking something that's labeled for reuse by going to Tools, Usage Right, labeled for reuse. It's a very simple find. You can go ahead. You can see the numbers are pretty blank. The numbers are pretty basic. They usually just go starting at 1. You can pick one of those guys to go into there. You can also go ahead and add a shaped barcode. Some people will incorporate little shapes in their finished piece. So all kinds of possibilities with this finished work. But again, it is really important that you guys do set yourself up for success by having a file folder with the files that you need. And then later on going ahead and getting those pieces put together as a finished work. Little last minute thing, you may decide if it's like this. I may decide to come in and label. I could call this one the back. I could create another text box. This is the, let's see, that's the front. We'll call that one the front. We'll go over here to the left side. This will be the left. And then this will be the right. So that I remember what each of these pieces will function for in my finished work. So again, you may also decide to print it out, cut out a small version at the very beginning and assemble it. Make sure you like the shape, make sure it's going to work. But beyond that, those are some of the basics of getting started with this box. You obviously know how to use your various shaping tools. You know how to utilize your text tool. You know how to utilize your gradient and your mesh tool. Making sure you're editing your points with the direct selection tool, moving your images with your selection tool, and have fun.